What's up, teacups? Welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Tea. And on today's episode of Tea's Treats, we're going to be making a plantain rum cake with candied kumquats. There's also going to be some walnuts to add amazing texture and crunch. It's going to be real boozy, it's going to be real sweet, it's going to be real tart. The texture is going to be amazing. And the recipe is going to be down below in the deets. But before we get started, make sure you guys tap in with me. Give me a thumbs up. Get at me on Instagram at ChefTianaG. I think that's about it. Let's make some cake. So first, we're going to make a mixture with our walnuts and our plantains, all right? Let's get into that first. All right, so yes, I have fresh walnuts. My neighbor, for some reason, gave me a lifetime supply of walnuts. And when I tell you this is not even all of them, there's like literally 100 pounds of walnuts. So I'm gonna take these walnuts and utilize them because we love walnuts, and they're gonna add a great crunch to our cake. So you're not gonna wanna watch me crack all of these. I don't even know where I put my nutcracker. So I'm just gonna remove the walnut from the shell, and I'll be back because that's really boring and nobody wants to watch me do that. All right, y'all, so now that I have about a cup and a half of walnuts, I'm just gonna smush them with my fingers so that they're not all whole. Just like break them up just a little bit. And then I'm gonna take our plantains and I'm just gonna peel them like you would a banana. And I'm just gonna cut them down a tad bit, like that. Now I have my stand mixer here, and I'm just gonna add my plantains with the whisk attachment because I wanna mash them up, get them nice and airy. So I'm just gonna mash my plantain. Into the plantain mix, I wanna add a few tablespoons of brown sugar. Now I'm gonna rein in our walnuts. I'm gonna lower the heat. I'm lowering the speed a little bit, and I'm just gonna pour in a little bit of orange liqueur. This orange liqueur is gonna add nice notes, and it's gonna complement those candied kumquats that we're gonna garnish our cake with. Now I'm gonna add a pinch of salt. Perfect. So now that we have our plantain walnut mix, we can start to build our cake in our bundt pan. So I'm gonna spray this bundt pan with a little bit of spray. I'm using coconut oil. I'm just going to add our walnut and plantain mix. Okay, so now that our pan has our plantain and walnut mix, we're gonna start to make our batter. So we're gonna take our butter and our sugar and we're gonna cream it. And in this ramekin here, I have my vanilla and my eggs, and I'm just gonna add an egg one at a time. Now I'm gonna add my cinnamon. And then I'm gonna rein in some of my cake flour here.
Get that nice and mixed up.
I'm gonna add a little bit of the coconut milk. And I'm gonna pause this mixing situation and make sure I scrape down on the sides. Turn it back up.
Now I'm gonna add some more cake flour. I'm gonna add the rest of our coconut milk.
And again, scrapey. Wow, that is really good. So I forgot to add a little bit of yellow food coloring. This is totally optional. If you guys don't get down with food coloring, don't worry. You don't have to do this. I'm just adding it because I noticed when I was in the Bahamas, all of those rum cakes that I had, they were really yellow. And I'm not sure if it's because they use margarine or egg yolk, lots of egg yolk. in their cake, but I'm just gonna go ahead and add a few droplets. Totally optional, don't have to do this if you don't want to. Okay, so now we're gonna take our batter that we just made and we're just going to add it on top. Oh snap, this is a good time for me to preheat our ovens, by the way. That's my preheating oven song. I'll try to get it nice and even, like this. Now we're gonna make our candied kumquats, all right? And our glaze for the cake. All right, so let us focus on cutting our kumquats because once we're at the stove, we're gonna candy these kumquats and then we're gonna make our rum syrup. Do I like them like this or do I like them like this? So I'm just gonna slice these like this. And BRB. So now we are going to start getting into canning some kumquats and making our rum glaze. So we're gonna get our saucepan and our little saute pan up to temperature. So in our saucepan here, I'm gonna add some sugar. I'm gonna add some water. I'm gonna let that become bubbly and syrupy. And in this pan here, I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar and just a little bit of water. Like that. So in this little saute pan here, I'm gonna add my kumquats. So we're getting some bubbling action on both of these. I'm gonna add just a little bit of salt to these. Now I'm gonna add my butter into this syrup mixture. So it's nice and melted. A few cubes at a time. I'm actually gonna turn the heat all the way off on the syrup now because the sugar is dissolved and it's nice and silky. So I'm just gonna add our butter. A few more minutes. Actually, one more minute and I'm gonna take it off the heat as well. So these look good to me. I'm gonna pop these off. Kick them in the corner. What this looks like right now, obviously the texture is gonna change as it cools, but it's just pretty much butter and sugar syrup. Nice and healthy for that 2021 body. I personally like to cut the heat completely off before I add the rum. Just because, I mean, you don't have to do this. This was like what makes it really, really boozy and what gives it that really like boozy flavors, because the rum essentially isn't really cooked out like you would normally cook alcohols. If you want it less boozy, keep the heat on and cook it down just a little bit more. But I'm just gonna let that alcohol hang out with the butter and sugar and make a nice syrup. Once this cools down, we're gonna add this over the cake. We're gonna pour this over once the cake is out of the oven. The cake isn't even in the oven yet. The oven is still preheating because I forgot to preheat the oven. I really wish that I never turned the camera off because right when I stopped recording, it turned on peak. I'm popping it in the oven. Yo, 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 yo. Yo, 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 yo. Woo! Woo-ha! I got you, balls and check. Wow. Wow. Don't worry about the edges and the unevenness. Don't worry about that, sweetheart, all right? That's gonna get all sopped up and good. We're gonna just stab our cake with some holes like this.
Good. Okay.
I know it seems excessive, but like You want that rum syrup butter to just hit different. You feel me? Gonna give it a little bit of a mix. Woo-ha! I'm gonna slowly pour over my ooh. I don't want to go slower than that.
This is just gonna give this texture to these cakes, man. I'm telling you, rum cakes.
So I'm gonna keep pouring and I'm gonna keep soaking it up with the rum. I'm gonna wait for it to absorb and I'm gonna pour some more syrup over. Got it? It's also a nice move to take a pastry brush if you have one and kind of just like get on the spots that might be a little bit more difficult. Because this isn't even, it's not like flat, so it might not spread like you want it to spread, so. All right, y'all, so the rum syrup has absorbed. As you can see, it's probably been about like 45 minutes. Overall, this came out maybe like an hour and a half ago. I've been soaking it for that amount of time. And now I'm just ready to eat it. I'm gonna take my kickstand. And I'm just going to, oh my gosh, guys. Flip it over. It's only about the moment of truth right now. There it is, y'all. So this looks amazing. As you can see, the plantains and walnuts are on the top layer. The rum cake has absorbed all the rum. It looks pretty amazing. All right, so now I'm going to start to add my candied kumquats around the top layer. And you know, I kind of want them to just complement that orange liqueur that we put in the plantain and walnut mix, as well as, might look better, as well as give a little bit of tartness and texture to the top layer. You feel me?
Ooh, that's not hot. That's hotter. But I'm very proud of this, guys. I'm very proud of how this turned out. I'm very excited about this. Yeah. Can't wait to take a bite with you all and try it out.
All right, teacup. So I added the candied kumquats on the top, and this is looking real cute and eclectic and eccentric and sexy and sweet, and I can't wait to cut into it. All right, the teacups, we're gonna get into cutting our cake. Finally, of all of the hours. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna, I think that's where the walnut is. Yeah, that was in that. Wow. This smells so amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yes, please. That's good. That is incredible. Oh my gosh, I'm ready. Over here. Okay. So, yes, we're eating this piece. What? The bonanza? Moistness. What? Say what? Absolutely. Yes. Please and thank you every time. Mmm. 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 Come on, texture. We got lots of good sweetness and ooey gooey stickiness from the rum cake. Perfectly spiced with that cinnamon. This cake is absolutely amazing. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, comment down below in the details. And until next time, peace, love, and blessings.